Florida Championship Wrestling, Jim Crockett Promotions, where he temporarily actually took over for managerial duties for the Four Horsemen from the Horror. Oh, I want
the
that
Horror
stable.
Horsemen.
I want the Horror
That
Horsemen
should be what the
stable.
horsewomen in WWE are.
Woo! No, don't open that gate. But in Jim Crockett Promotions,
J.C. Penney. That's what I was thinking.
Okay. In Jim Crockett Promotions, Outlaw Joel Deaton temporarily took over the managerial duties for the Four Horsemen from J.J. Dillon, believe it or not. He was also in not Global Force Wrestling.
Global Wrestling Force.
No, GWF and Smoky Mountain Wrestling. The Outlaw was primarily a tag team specialist, and I'm sure most of you don't recognize his name, as I actually only recognized the name, but couldn't picture a match, couldn't put any data to him, couldn't picture a face, nothing. Primarily tag team specialist, but he did hold tag team titles in All Japan, NWA Central, Georgia Championship, Georgia All-Star, Southern Championship, NWA Tri-State, and World League Wrestling. Now, almost all of those tag titles were held with either Thunderfoot, Billy Black, or the kayfabe brother Dave Deaton. We hope the best for Outlaw Joel Deaton, and we're hoping that we don't have to talk about his passing anytime soon.
Yeah. Man, folks, it's been a while since we've had a weekly Elite dirt sheet for you.
And we don't have much of one today.
No, it is short and sweet, and I'm almost wondering if we just lure it all back into the Savage Sentinel.
It's super sweet.
All Elite Wrestling announced Thursday that Rick and Morty are all elite. AEW wrote on Twitter, "Welcome to @AEW Wrestling @Rick and Morty are hashtag all elite." God, I hate the way we have to talk these days.
You know, when I read them, I just ignore all those or a lot of times, as I did at the end of this one, when I write them as you would write them in a news story where I'll bracket what they really mean.
All right.
Which is good. I mean, things like AEW Wrestling, Rick and Morty, and All Elite, obviously we know what those are. But the one that I bracketed was @CCCCCWV. What? I literally had to look it up to find out what the fuck it was, and so I bracketed it for us.
And of course, folks, you'll be able to find out more information Wednesday, October 30th, when AEW Dynamite broadcasts live from Charleston Coliseum and Convention Center in Charleston, West Virginia. And yes, folks, that news showcase was shorter than the button itself.
Wow. Paystee, time for the Crown Jewel predictions. The pay-per-view nobody gives a fuck about unless you own oil, I guess.
I'll watch it just because it's my journalistic duty, and I know you won't.
And yeah, I'm going to go out of my way to follow through on the fact that I have not watched a single match that WWE has put on from Saudi Arabia. And I'm kind of proud of that. The same way I'm proud that I've actually never gambled in a casino in my life. And I have nothing against gambling. I might go to the
extremities of not watching it on the WWE Network.
You probably should. Just stick it to them.
Yes. So this card kicks off with a 20-man battle royal in which we don't know any of the 20 men.
Oh, this sounds familiar.
I know. It's going to lead into some interesting stuff.
With that being said, Paystee, I'm picking whoever comes in at number 17.
Do you want to just do first 10 and second 10? You're already in at 17. I picked 1.
Oh, yeah, let's do that. Yeah, fuck it. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Not
1
like
through 10 for me
anyways.
and 11 through 20 for you.
I like that. Go ahead and you going to make the change?
Yeah, I'll do it.
You make the change.
You get into the next match.
Okay, so we got the WWE United States title match. AJ Styles defending his title against the winner of this said match. Is it going to be AJ Styles, or is it going to be 1 through 10? Or is it going to be 11? No, it won't be 11 through 20 because 11 through 20 isn't going to win. It's either AJ Styles or 1 through 10. Paystee, what do you got? 1 through 10 or AJ Styles?
I got Styles.
I got Styles. There you go.
You gotta somehow keep the club credible, and Gallows and Anderson aren't good for that.
Aren't gonna do it. No, not gonna happen.
Then we've got Braun Strowman versus Tyson Fury. Who you got, Mac?
Paystee, I'm going Fury.
I gotta go with Stroganoff, especially after hearing this week that Tyson Fury was putting in a session at the Performance Center when he was attacked by Braun Strowman. And that wouldn't happen in real life. So it's going to play into this match.
But I could easily see that being what triggers Fury to go all out on the beast.
Yeah.
We got Cesaro versus Mansoor Al-Shahali, which only makes an appearance on these shows, ironically.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep, and I'm going against the grain by saying Cesaro's going to win it because Cesaro didn't go to NXT like he should have, and he deserves something, please.
He deserves something, but Mansoor, I didn't pick Mansoor last time, and he ended up winning his match, so I'm picking Mansoor this time because, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Yes, indeed. And the last match, I believe, was a Battle Royal, too.
It was, and we didn't even know he was in it. He was but I'm still picking him. 5-on-5 match, Paystee. This one I'm excited for, just for the outcome. I'm not going to watch it. Team Hogan, which consists of Roman Reigns, Rusev, Ricochet, Ali, and Shorty G, taking on Team Flair, which is Randy Orton, King Corbin, Bobby Lashley, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Drew McIntyre. And anybody who knows Fat Mack knows I'm picking Hogan.
I'm going Team Flair. I feel like he's got the stronger lineup. I also have this sneaky suspicion that Rusev is not going to have a chance to fight Bobby Lashley in this match. I feel like every time they're in the ring together, Bobby's going to get himself out. I'm Team Flair all the way.
I like the psychology of that. That actually makes sense. But you got Hogan, you got Roman. In my mind, it's really hard to fucking bet against those two.
I guess
not in WWE.
Roman's been capable of losing lately, and I think as much as Vince wants everybody to forget about Hogan, I think there's still ground.
First of all, I think Triple H wants people to forget about Hogan, not Vince.
Triple H just wants Flair to not sue about the man.
Second of all,
that's probably why Flair wins.
That actually makes sense, but I also was going to say I think Hogan's going to get one more match, and this could set that up, so that would make sense. So actually, both things make sense. Paystee, I want you to bring in the next one.
Yes, folks, it is the largest title in show history for the largest tag team turmoil match to determine the World Cup for the best tag team in the world. And that's the literal match title, folks.
So fucking stupid.
Fat Mack tried to get around it. He just put tag team turmoil.
I did. I purposely didn't put all that in there, and then Paystee changed it and added every fucking syllable so that we had to say it so that we could show how fucking stupid WWE is.
They say tag team and world twice.
Isn't that just... They say a lot of things over and over again.
It's the best tag team in the world. I think Shane McMahon wins
what do you think,
somehow,
Paystee?
but he's not in the match.
You and I have the same idea.
Yeah, I mean, and I probably would have picked what you picked, but I decided to go against that grain. And besides, I have a preference here. I chose Heavy Machinery. Well, the competitors in this match are Viking Raiders, The Revival, New Day, Dolph Ziggler, and Robert Roode. Heavy Machinery, Lucha House Party, Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins, the OC, and the B Team. So, 3/4 of these people don't stand a chance. Am I the only one who thinks the last
4 will... 4. Half of them don't. Lucha House Party, Zack and Hawkins, OC, and B Team. None of them are winning.
Ziggler and Roode aren't winning. I mean, I guess they could just
4 out of the 8
a point.
Are done.
But this comes down to the big boys, doesn't it?
I think out of everybody that I looked at and said that you and I had the same idea. I think so, yeah. So so you got Heavy Machinery you said?
Oh yeah, Tucker and Otis are my favorite thing going right now.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Okay. I got Viking Raiders. A, because they are pushing them. B, because they need to push them. And C, because looking at this outside of the OC, which is a joke, I think they're my favorite tag team out of this group.
Yeah, Viking Raiders are definitely the easy pick.
And because it's a largest tag team turmoil match to determine the World Cup for the best tag team in the world, and I think anybody could fucking win it. It doesn't matter. Just like the Battle Royal, and just like the world's greatest fucking Royal Rumble, and just like whatever else people have gotten titles and cups and shit for.
Hey, is Braun Strowman defending his green title against Tyson Fury here?
Nothing on this show matters. Fucking should.
We're having heavy delays here, but we're nearing the end of the show, so it shouldn't matter too much.
He's not, but he should. I know.
So up next, we have a Falls Count Anywhere Universal title match, seeing Seth Rollins defending his Universal Championship against The Fiend Bray Wyatt in a match that cannot be stopped. It's going to suck. I don't care.
Oh. Well, since both of us thought that the Fiend should have won the last match, so I'm going to just keep pulling that forward and saying there's no reason for the Fiend not to win this one.
The Fiend doesn't need a title.
There's
Seth Rollins
no
is going to
reason.
win this one.
He should get the title here.
He shouldn't get the title ever.
Okay.
Just because I love him.
I think storyline-wise he should.
I honestly, we haven't seen the Fiend show up on Raw or SmackDown since this whole thing went down at Hell in a Cell. I think the Fiend doesn't even show up. I think it's Seth Rollins versus Bray Wyatt, flat Bray Wyatt, and that's why Rollins wins.
Flat Bray Wyatt? Are they going to do some sort of 2D sort of transmogrification and turn him into a flat opponent?
He doesn't have a flat Stanley yet in his crew, so why not? He cut flat Bray Wyatt with a chainsaw in the first segment, if you really think about it.
Okay. That is true! He did. Then we got the WWE title match. Brock Lesnar versus Cain Velasquez. This is a return bout or rematch, if you will, from UFC, where Cain Velasquez fucked Brock Lesnar up in his first loss.
In fact, Mac, I think he's going to do that again here.
No offense to Brock Lesnar. I think he's... I don't think so. I think that this is the redemption. I think that we get a run. I think, honestly, right now, I think Vince McMahon doesn't even know who he wants to bet his money on.
No.
Like, I think he's still waiting for the performers and the audience to tell him who is going to be the main event guy. Is it Kane? Is it Brock? I'm going to let people tell. I don't think Vince knows. Like, I think this is trading places with Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd. And Vince McMahon is just both the rich old white dudes.
I love it. Yeah, I'm saying. I'm going Cain Velasquez in this. He's a new addition to the roster. I don't think this is a one-off thing. Kane can win it, and he can go to SmackDown, and Brock can go back to be with Paul Heyman, because Brock can't be on SmackDown without Paul Heyman, right?
So I do want to say this. I originally had Cain Velasquez down before you had even picked anybody, Paystee. But as soon as I heard the news that Cain Velasquez signed a multi-year deal and not a one-off, I was like, nah, fuck that. Brock Lesnar's winning. They're building something. They're building. I might be wrong, but if it was a one-off, I was sure that Velasquez was going to get his revenge.
Yeah. Hey, so props to WWE for booking the least predictable Brock Lesnar match in a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, really. I mean, if you go by legitimate sports, Velasquez is going to win. If you go by pro wrestling booking, Brock is going to win. If you go and say, well, fuck, what is Vince going to do? Who knows?
So true.
I like that.
And that brings us to our tiebreaker.
Yes.
Do Hogan and Flair get physical with each other? And we're talking more than just pushing. What do you say, man?
We're talking about tongue kissing. We're talking about no Vaseline, straight in the pooper.
Physical.